Good morning. Good morning. So happy to be connected with you all. My name is Tricia Love Trujillo, and I am Joseph Trujillo's wife. Together, we have the Dream Chasers organization and LA Style magazine. And today, I'm going to be talking to you about the art of edification. Super powerful, transformative subject that if you really lay hold of it, or maybe you have it already, and this could be a great way to sharpen and kind of update what that looks like for you. We here believe in constant growth. Every day you can learn something new and really just take life and go after your dreams, and the art of edification will definitely help you with that. So we're going to hone in on real estate and what that looks like and how to incorporate that in your business. So let me share my screen. I think you can see it already, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, awesome. So masterclass, the art of edification, like I shared, and we're also going to touch on some appointment setting tools. So moving on, just a little bit about me and the company. So the reason that this topic is so important to me, because it really is a foundational building blocks of how I reintroduced LA Style magazine into the industry in 2015. It's actually one of the first publications in Los Angeles. It's legendary for that, originated in the 1980s. So I serve as the editorial director. I'm in charge of casting vision and building relationships. A lot of big names you may have heard of. We've had exclusives with everyone from Oprah Winfrey to the great Cardones, Elena Cardone in real estate, and others have had exclusives in the magazine. So me understanding this art of edification really is what allowed me to set myself apart. Even though it did have history, I had to come in fresh and new and really establishing in who I was and what the magazine's vision was now going to be. So let's move on. This is my quote, and this is truly what I believe, so I'm just going to read it straight off the screen. True edification is the art of elevating others while elevating ourselves. When we introduce potential partners and clients, we're not merely making connections, we're creating moments of mutual enlightenment that transform how we see possibility. In the most meaningful partnerships, edification becomes a foundation where respect, wisdom, and a shared vision converge, turning every introduction into an opportunity for collective growth, inspiration, and potential collaboration. A little bit more about me and my family. This is a recent picture we took for Christmas. We were recently married last year, so this is our first Christmas together. You have me, you have our little Penny True. She's about to be 9. Marco, our little gift from heaven, that little white fluff ball you see in the middle. Of course, my handsome husband, and our son, Xavier, who is 14. I added one more picture because now we have Mama Dukes in the house. Finally moved here from Florida, so she's down in the corner. I share this because EXP is, and our organization in particular, there are many within this company, right? But here at EXP, if you're watching this, you're a part of our family, extended family. We pray for you all. We put on these classes because we really want to see you accelerate and grow. And it's an extension of our family. So with all that being said, I'll close in saying faith is very important to us. And I love this scripture because it talks about loving others. So I'm going to read it verbatim and then I'll rock and roll into it. Matthew 22, verses 36 through 40. There's a question, right? There's a person asking Jesus, "Teacher, what is the greatest commandment in the law?" Jesus replied, "Love the Lord God with all your heart and your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like this: love your neighbor like yourself." So this is how we feel about all of you. And this is what we're going to share in the art of edification. Loving others and edifying them is just an expression of that. And we'll get into that in just a second. The great Maya Angelou. Who doesn't love this woman? An iconic woman for our nation, right? For America, and civil rights activist, worked with Martin Luther King, a famous poet. She said, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And edification is just that. It's honoring somebody. It's setting not even just the person that you're edifying, that you're introducing to the person you know. That's a way of honoring them. But it's also honoring that person that's new in the room. If we had hands up here, I would ask, how many of you like to know what's going on when you walk in a room or you're meeting somebody new? It's honoring them and giving them an opportunity to see, okay, who am I talking to right now? How can we collaborate? Where is a foundational connection? Do we have one? Is there something that I respect about this other person I'm being introduced to? So it's a great way of making both your clients and your colleagues feel honored in that space that you're inviting them into. All right. So very, very simple. Going to hone down on these 3 points, and we will repeat this throughout today's class. So how to edify a person in 3 simple points. One is a professional accolade. It's a professional mention, right, about the person. Second is an accolade, something that they've accomplished in their career. And third is personal, something personal about them. And I'm going to give you various examples of this as we go throughout. But it's very, very simple if you can think of just these 3 points as you maybe meditate or you plan what your conference call is going to be like, or even yourself. I'm going to give you some points of how you can edify yourself very humbly, but importantly in conversations as you enter into them. And I'm going to, as we talk about real estate in particular, I truly, truly believe, and my husband as well, that helping your clients or say recruits, if you're introducing them to EXP, feel comfortable is your number one objective. It's your number one objective because it's the foundation of that new relationship. And making them feel comfortable eases anxiety. It gives them a know of what's happening, and it's just so, so important. Peace of mind is what comes to my thought when I think of edifying somebody. All right. One of the things I also believe is rapport is a whole different class. But I believe that edification is the first step in building rapport with somebody, because the person that you're introducing is listening to what you're saying. They know, like, and trust you. They don't know this other person. So they're looking to you for guidance. Like, okay, who we're talking about? What do they do? How can we collaborate? How can I help them? How can they help me? So edification is truly the first step of building rapport. And according to Wikipedia, friendly site we all love, it says, and as you may know this, rapport is a close and harmonious relationship in which people and groups are connected and in sync with one another. The rest of my sentence is cut off, but you understand the gist of it. It's the glue of that relationship. So wanted to add that. And before we get into it, just kind of lay the foundation of today's call on this quote. Purposely seek ways, us agents, right? Let's purposely seek ways to put others at ease and make them feel comfortable. Okay, throughout today's course, I'm going to talk about 6 examples of edification where I'll actually go in and give you what that 3-point, remember the 3 points of edification, looks like in these 6 different categories. One is going to be for your clients, super important, right? Like, this may be your first transaction with them. It may be your 10th transaction with them. It's still the same important to edify them, because remember, they're going to remember how you made them feel. 2, potential recruits. 3, senior partners. 4, colleagues or partnered agents. Us here at EXP, we get to be partnered with many people that may be introducing somebody else to the company. Those are our partnered agents. The 5th is yourself. Super, super important. And then 6, which is a bonus, I'm going to share a little bit about our preferred vendors, right? Your lenders, because that's what's going to help you take that ball across the line. I've seen Joseph do it many, many times, and how artfully he edifies both sides in really helping the client feel comfortable with this person that's going to be dealing with their finances and helping them, get approved for this dream home that they would like, or this investment that they'd like. So that's the outline of today's call. Let's talk about number one. I'm going to pause here, and right now we're going to focus on you as an agent. Many of you have heard this before, your elevator pitch. So this is the power of edification in this elevator pitch, which is going to serve your clients, your colleagues, and potential recruits. So here's an example. My name is Vanessa today. So this is an example of edification of myself, my elevator pitch. So here we go. Hi, my name is Vanessa Alvarez. I'm a residential agent in SoCal and part of one of the largest real estate teams in California, with partners throughout the nation expanding even to real estate. If there's anything that I can help you with within the world of homes, residential, or the home industry, please let me know. I'd be happy to share. I have a full Rolodex. So right there, I wasn't necessarily reading verbatim, but you'll notice if you take a closer look at it, when you meet somebody right away, super important to say your last name. I'm guilty of not doing this and not edifying myself properly all the time. But I heard someone say, I forget which president it was, that he said, he corrected a young man and he said, don't ever just say your first name, say your first and last. It's very important. And as we continue to elevate in life and we get to have different experiences and connect with different people, you'll notice that those within dignitary or other positions, they do that on purpose because they realize the importance of that. And we are no different, right? We're professionals and we should do just the same. So that little nugget is in there. But when you look at the 3 points of this edification, this elevator pitch, I did the professional point, right? I mentioned that I was a residential agent in Southern California with one of the largest teams. That's an accomplishment and like an accolade, right? That rolls into number 2. We have national partners that can help them. It elevates you from other agents and it gives you an opportunity to lean on your team. It's true. It's what we have. The resources available to us here at this team at Dream Chasers is just mind-blowing. And number 3, you're offering value. You're offering value in your extensive Rolodex that you have within the home industry. And listen, like I said in the beginning, we're all family. So you may not personally, maybe you're newer to the industry. You're like, I don't have a Rolodex of, 10 people. Well, guess what? We do. Joseph does. I do. Some of our partners do. You can reach out to us and ask. If they say, hey, yeah, actually, I need someone in solar, or hey, yeah, I actually need somebody that's a plumber, you can reach out to us and we will provide you with those resources. The number one way to build relationships by offering value. And that simple slide in saying that is exactly how you're doing that. So again, you can use this when you're out networking with a potential client, say a potential client that you meet. They're just simply introducing themselves. Well, hey, this is what you can adopt and make your own. Or with colleagues in the industry, maybe you're at a networking event. I know, we have some people here, part of like the National Association of Women Realtors, right? Like have this so down to the T that it rolls off your tongue. It truly will separate you from the rest, because the reality is a lot of people don't take time to create their elevator pitch. Take a screenshot of this and practice it on your own. So they fumble when they meet people. And the reality is every time we meet someone, they're observing, they're looking, do I want to do business with this person? Do they know how to introduce themselves properly? Are they saying something that is offering me value? You're either setting yourself up for success or you're setting yourself up for failure. And quite frankly, without a clear elevator pitch, there's no in between. You're setting yourself up for failure. So I would highly, highly encourage this to have in your back pocket, to know how to say it, to feel comfortable with it. Call your friends if you need to. Maybe we can set up, if there is interest in doing an elevator pitch practice day where I can give you guys some feedback, but definitely put it into action. All right, moving on. So now that piece is done, we're going to roll over to recruitment. And the reason that last slide was so important, because if you're introducing, say, eventually you're going to introduce somebody to EXP, it's important you say that so they know where you're positioned, that you're in a part of a winning team. People want to be a part of a winning team. So this next segment is going to talk about the power of edification in recruitment and appointment setting. So this is an example of edification of the company, right? How to set up that that recruitment Zoom call. A lot of people get stuck in maybe just mentioning that they're, oh yeah, I'm a part of EXP, and then there's no call to action. There's no quick kind of like, this is the next step, would like to, introduce you to my senior partners. Or maybe you are doing outreach, right? This could be a text template. This could be a DM template. This could be a cold call script or a warm call script. Like, how many of you have worked with other agents on, where you've called them before for your buyers, or you've closed deals? Like, you can use this. So here we go. I'm going to go back to Vanessa. Or actually, wait, whose name should I put in here? Sorry, guys. Yeah, so I'm going to say Tom. Hey, Tom, I know you've heard of EXP before, but there are different organizations in EXP that operate at their own rhythm. The way our team here operates is truly unparalleled. As a business owner, I know that you understand the importance of evaluating the latest opportunities to expand and grow. I've been in business 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, whatever the number is for you, and accomplished much in the industry, right? So that's for a senior person. If you haven't accomplished much in the industry, I've been in business, I entered into business last year, and I aspire to do phenomenal things, and I could see that here in this company, however that fits you, right? Or you could just exclude that sentence that I'm sharing. So I've been in the business 10 years and accomplished much in the industry. And for the first time, I have a long-term vision of what it looks like to build generational wealth for my family and the organizations that I'm passionate about through this company. Super, super important. What is the vision that you're casting? Are you providing, is this ultimately a goal for your family? And if not, is your heart positioned in generosity? Is there an organization you want to help? Because the more successful you get to be, the more you get to bless others. So I love adding that piece in there. Then let's get right down to the meat and potatoes. What are we asking them for? In a brief 20-minute intro call, we can address some of the latest developments of our financial model, and you can let me know if you think it's a good fit for you. Would you be open to connecting with my senior partner, Joseph, because he's going to be an example in this deck this week. What he's accomplished in a short time in this company is truly incredible. They say yes. Okay, awesome. Let me send you a brief video for you to watch before the call. And it's a phenomenal 12-minute video. Again, you can make this your own, screenshot it, develop it, make sure it feels natural to you. But I'm addressing some really, really key points within this text, phone call, however you want to utilize it, pitch. Okay, now within the Zoom call, this is so, so important. We've been a part of a lot of recruitment calls, and what I've noticed is a lot of phenomenal agents. And I mean, it's normal. When I got into the industry, until somebody sat down and had a conversation with me on edification, I didn't even know what the heck the word edification meant. I was like, edify who? What does that mean? So as leaders here in Dream Chasers, we thought it was really, really important to put this deck together because maybe nobody's sat down and shared it with you. And on the Zoom call, you've already got them to this place, right? So that we can do our job. Joseph can do his job in really introducing the company so that they can catch the vision. But the way the first 2 minutes goes down on this call really sets it up. And it either makes it easier or it makes it harder. And these steps right here are going to be what you can utilize to make it easier. And before I kind of read some of these things on the screen, the thing I want to mention, which a lot of people don't realize, and again, maybe you're new to the organization, Joseph comes from a background within government services. I mean, dealing with our president's office and things like that in Homeland Security, where he's a high-level experienced executive. And a lot of times to get somebody on your team or within a company to be a recruitment professional that'll take Zoom calls, that'll take meetings to bring somebody on board, like that whole HR position is a big investment. And we have that in our back pocket. So setting up these next steps that I'm going to break down are really, really important because, again, you're going to help your recruit feel honored and known, like they're recognized in that call. And you're also going to edify your senior partner. that lays a foundation as to whether your recruit honestly wants to lean in and listen a little bit more or not. So it's really our job to make sure we edify. And then I'll show you simply how you can close and edifying yourself before you introduce your senior partner. Okay, so we are on the Zoom call. I'm going to read verbatim. This is an example of the recruit. So this recruit's name is going to be Sally. So Sally has an amazing, so hey guys, so happy we're all on the call. This little piece isn't in here, but super important. If you set up the call, I would invite you to start the call, right? So everybody's on the call. Hey guys, so happy that we're all on the call today. Before we get started, I'm going to take a moment and introduce everybody from one another, if that's okay. Everybody nods, right? It's a given. They're not going to necessarily say yes. So here we go. So Sally has an amazing ability to connect with clients and really understand what they're looking for in a home. And she was just awarded Rookie of the Year by her brokerage. Or I'm sorry, there's a little bit of a typo as I'm reading it because it was actually for somebody on the team, but we're just going to roll with it, right? They've been awarded Rookie of the Year, and their personality and their positive energy, it just lights up the room that they walk in, right? So this is for a little bit of a newer agent, but maybe they've accomplished something. You can highlight that in there. And again, if they haven't, you could just extract that little piece. But in a very short 2 sentences, I did 3 things. I highlighted their professional, piece, the accolade, and then the personal. The personal is so important to close on. I'm highlighting their positive energy. On to the next one. Here is for the potential recruit, right? So Sally's an incredible, and this is somebody that's maybe a little bit more established. Sally's incredibly knowledgeable about our local market, always knows exactly, what the properties or about the neighborhood that's coming available. And she just closed over $5 million in sales last quarter, or last year, whichever works, right? And what I love most about them is that they're generally one of the kindest people you'll ever meet. So again, make sure that what you're saying is genuine, but you're putting a personal touch in there, right, for that person. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the way EXP works, right? Maybe I work with, I'm running out of names here, John, right? And John is who I work with in EXP, and he's bringing on somebody to the call. So there's 4 of us on the call, right? It's myself, it's John, it's our senior partner, and it's the recruit. It's either 3 or 4. So I want to edify John, and I want to thank him for inviting our new recruit to the call, right? I want to thank him for inviting Sally to the call. We're going to keep Sally in this conversation. So, but John isn't necessarily like senior to me, right? Like in the industry, I know that there's all these nuances to who's senior and who's not. But the beautiful thing about EXP is that we honor one another. We honor the relationships that people have, so we could all grow and be able to generationally impact, have wealth. And we honor the 7 generations above us that have introduced us to this company. So not forgetting John is very important, and edifying him where he is, whether he's a senior or not, is super, super important. So you can simply thank him. So I just want to say thank you, John, for helping set this call up, for us to all be able to dive into conversation of how to explore how we can collaborate together. John has a great passion for real estate, and I'm grateful to be in business with him in this phenomenal company. Super simple, super powerful. You're not being fibbish about anything. It's a phenomenal company. I hope that you're grateful that John set up the call. So we're adding that piece in there. And if you recognize that he's passionate about real estate, you can say that. So I love this intro. It's super, super simple, super important for the person that introduced, say, Sally to the call. Okay. And before you hand off to your senior partner, you can add in there, because remember, you're also could be like a common denominator in this, right? So before I introduce to my senior partner, we're going to talk about Joseph, right? I just want to say it's truly a blessing to be a part of the team here, one of the largest teams in California, with partners throughout the nation, expanding to commercial real estate as well. I've been in business blank years and accomplished XYZ in the industry, or you can take that piece out. And for the first time, I have a long-term vision of what it looks like to build generational wealth for my family and organization. And and that I'm passionate about, and I can do that through this company. So again, I fumbled a little bit on my words, so I'll read that from the beginning. Before I introduce my senior partner, Joseph, I just wanted to say what a blessing it is to be a part of this team, one of the largest teams in California with partners throughout the nation, expanding to commercial real estate. I've been in business X years, and for the first time ever, right, I have a long-term vision of what it could look like to build generational wealth for my family and organizations that I'm passionate about through this company. So before I introduce you to Joseph, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about him as well, because what he's done for, in this company in a short time is really, really incredible. So you're setting it up. This is so, so key. So we're going to continue with Joseph before we end this piece. As your senior partner, right? And he does this. Sometimes when there's various calls that he makes and he's introducing a recruit to another, he'll edify that senior partner. So important. So here we go. I'm honored to introduce you to Joseph Trujillo. He's a true leader who brings an incredible depth of experience, and from serving in our country as a Marine to top level government executive, including working directly with the president's office and handling confidential homeland security operations overseas. He carries that into real estate. Since he transitioned into this industry in 2017, he's built something remarkable, mind-blowing, whichever word you want to use to make your own, right? He's built a global team of over 1,500 agents with collective sales of over $2 billion. What I respect most about Joseph is how he's a family man, and he leads with the same integrity and dedication he brought to serving our nation. And he genuinely cares about developing every person in his team to their full potential. That is something you can take and make your own. Again, it's practice. Practice makes perfect. The first time you closed a deal in real estate, it took a little bit of work. If you want to be a stellar, recruiter and edifying and honoring people and making them remember you for how you made them feel, you'd practice this. Take a screenshot of it. Prepare yourself before you enter into those calls, especially when you start dealing with conversations with, say, top producers or things of that nature, right? They recognize this type of edification because it's something they themselves do. If it's something that you're missing in your business, really study it, because greatness recognizes greatness. I remember hearing that in a quote once, right? So we want to mirror what the greats are doing, and this is absolutely one of them. All right, so, and those 3 points again, here they are: professional, Marine, government executive, background with high security experience. 2, Accolade, built 1,500 agent team with $2 billion in collective sales since 2017. 3, personal, right? It's the heart. Who is this person? I'm happy that you shared what they've done, their experience, their accolades, but who are they at their heart? That's why we always close at that. So he leads with integrity and generally invests in developing others, right? Or family man, whatever line you wanted to use. Okay, we are at a half-hour point. On this piece, I'm going to shift to setting appointments for your clients. The edification for our clients is so, so important. One, because it's how they're going to remember they felt when you introduced them. And that's really fundamental. So this example right now is for the mortgage lender, right? A lot of times, I've seen Joseph do it many, many times with his clients and mortgage lenders. It's a very sensitive topic. And a lot of times, if we're not edifying our clients and the lender correctly, we will lose the deal, right? We need them to get that pre-approval. We need them to get their paperwork in order and the lending and all that good stuff. Brent Grove recently did a masterclass that you can ask Joseph if you missed it, if it's available for rewatch. Yeah, it is. About how he even went above and beyond to get the the documentation that was needed. And he was like, listen, I want to help you find your dream home. I know we're going to find it, but guess what? This is a competitive market. Let me help you. Let's get this documents together. That way we're ready to rock and roll. When an offer comes in, I'm going to negotiate and do my best part. I'm sorry, when a home comes in that you want, I'm going to negotiate and do my best part, but let's make sure our ducks are in the roll. So this piece on lending is super important, as you all know, in real estate. So here's an example. Joe, client's name is Joe. Hey, Joe, I wanted to talk to you about the next steps in financing. I work with this incredible lender. This lender's name is Jonathan, and he's honestly one of the best in the business. He's super responsive, really knows their stuff, and is amazing at their ability to find solutions when deals get tricky. I've seen them close deals that other lenders couldn't figure out. Also want to share what I love about working with him is that he actually takes the time to explain everything clearly. No confusing jargon, no rushing you through the process. He's genuinely invested in helping people get to the finish line. My clients are always taken care of. So with that, would you be open to me connecting you two? I think he'd be perfect for your situation, and I know that he'd appreciate working with you. Okay, super important. We closed it with a little edification of the client. I know he'd appreciate working with you, right? You're speaking to their character. It would be not right that they're pleasant. So adding that is very, very important. And then just your experience with the lender. We have amazing lending partners. If you're in our Redlands office, there's a local lender, Steve. If you're anywhere else, we have Gabriella Godi. She's amazing, and their brokerage is in various different states. So superb, right? We also have Christina. So there's many people, if you need resources, to reach out to. Joseph is a get a tongue twister there, a 5-time icon agent. He's worked with the best of the best and happy to share his resources with you. So let us know. All right. So once they say yes, okay, perfect. I'll connect us in a group text, and then I'll set up a conference call. What are they going to say to that? You're taking lead, you're taking initiative, you're taking authority and confidence in what you're saying. Oh, okay, great, right? But you're setting them up for the next steps. A lot of times in conversations, when there's 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, it lacks a leader in that conversation. Who is leading the conversation to the next step? So then everybody's kind of in the blank of what to do next. By nature, we like direction. And if you can do that for your client, that's what they're seeking from you, to guide them into the next step. So they're going to be open to it. They're going to say yes to the group text. Don't leave it there. Once you set up the group text, go ahead and make the phone call right away. Get everybody on the 3 line, right? What are the next steps? And even there, mention, the paperwork, like how can I help you getting all that together? So that's what that looks like. All right, the next one is edification of your clients. Once you have it on the phone call, you've already gotten your client to agree over here to a group text message, and then you went straight for the phone call. Okay, great. In that group text, when can we get on a call? Right? Are you available tomorrow at 10 a.m.? If it was me, I have a friend of mine, Jennifer, she's a lender. She makes the phone call immediately. If the client already said yes, you just put the group text message together. I mean, within 2 minutes, just get everybody on the phone. You know that it's in their hand, right? You're getting off the phone with them. So very briefly, right, on the phone call, remember the example we had here is, we'll use Gabby. Hey, Gabby, I'm excited to introduce you to, I forgot who the client's name was, Jonathan. Hey, Gabby, I'm excited to introduce you to Jonathan. They've been incredibly proactive throughout our home search, always asking thoughtful questions and eager to find the right home. I'm connecting him with you because I know you're awesome at what you do, so that they can have the best terms possible. What I really appreciate about Jonathan is their desire to purchase a home, and that they understand how much California is one of the strongest states to purchase a property as a solid investment. Their enthusiasm's contagious. Again, that may feel a little canned for you, but if you've repeated this and you had your own rhythm to it, there was some key points I said in that were super important. I re-edified the mortgage lender in saying that they were going to find them the best deal. I closed it in saying we're in a California market. Like, they understand this investment, and whether they do or don't, and they haven't fully gotten it, you're helping them understand it by saying it again and having them hear it again and seeing it as an investment. We're dealing with financials here. So And then just a couple sweet things that I said about the buyer. They're asking thoughtful questions. I'm sure that they are. So you can definitely adopt that one. And they're eager to find the right home. So just saying those two little things makes them feel like they're thoughtful, that they're eager, makes them feel good about themselves. In essence, it's a compliment. Edification equals compliments. And who doesn't like to be complimented? So that's where we are there. Let's move on to the power of edification in submitting an offer, right? You've already gone through so many of these hard steps. You've gotten it this far, and now you're going to submit it to the listing agent, right? So let's not lose it there. The client hired us for a reason, to be their representative, to be their buying agent. So let's get really, really good at this part in edifying our client and doing our job to make them be the rock star buyer, right? That this listing agent wants to work with us. So this is like game on, full speed ahead. Like let's do this. And this is an example of a template. So, and again, I hear Joseph do this a lot. He actually worked with me to put this together. So, hey, Pablo, this is a listing agent. My name is, I would definitely say my name. I forgot to put that in there, first and last name, your brokerage. I'm excited to present my clients offer for the property address. They're an incredible family who absolutely love your listing. They're fully pre-qualified with strong financials and ready for a quick close, which I know is always appreciated. Just another point about them, what I really like about them is how, they've approached the entire process. They're really excited about making this home, getting a purchase home for their family, and have been so respectful and thoughtful throughout the way. I couldn't say enough good things about them. They truly appreciate the value of this property. And I just wanted to connect to see what the seller is looking for to accept an offer today. I want to make sure that I come in with a strong offer and that it's a win-win. So this close is so important because, yes, we said a couple nice things about the clients, about our clients, but you're closing it in absolute humility, authority and humility, right? You're like, my clients are fantastic. We're going to get this done. And secondly, like, how is it that this is a win-win, and what is it that I can do to get this offer accepted today? So it'll lower guards and create an opportunity for you to listen to what are the key things that you need to add or, include in your offer. And it may open up, I've heard Joseph, where it'll open up, they'll ask some questions, you can clarify whatever it is. And then, okay, awesome, I'm going to send it to you XYZ, whether they're going to be reviewing offers, say the next day or whatever that timeline looks like, affirm when you're going to send it. And then also he always asks, do you have any offers that are being considered by the sellers? So that way you also can get some insight. You're like your intel for your clients, right? To see what it is that you can add to your offer that you can make yours the best. So that's what we got. All right, here's a call to action. And right now we're at 10:41. So we do have a little bit of time for this. And I really want to take a moment and pause. So there is somebody's asking if they can get it in Spanish. Let me see what I can do for support on that piece. I do speak Espanol, but it's not my first language. So I'm going to see what I could do. I'll talk to Joseph about it. Thank you for that question, though. All right, so call to action. I want you guys to take out your pens and papers. So if you don't have a pen and paper, take out your phone, open a notepad on your computer, and let's do a call to action, right? Let's not just sit here for an hour and leave with information. There's a million pieces of information out there. Let's make a step to actually create this for ourselves. It's a 3-point edification. And then I want you to save it. You're going to save it as a pin in your phone. I can show you how to do that in just a second, and save it as a draft in your email, right? So if you're ever going to be sending it out or whatever the case may be, so important. So let's see, what did I say for point 3? When you're setting up an appointment for recruitment, send it to the person you're working with. Okay, got it. So that's just like another, if you're, sorry, I'm reading my notes that I took earlier. Yes. So this is like along the lines, let's say you're growing your team and you have other leaders who also want to learn how they can better themselves, how they can be better agents. Like, you can save this and you can explain this 3-point process to other people. It's like sharing. It's a butterfly effect. And then the quote that I have is, success is the result of a ripple effect. And this is one of the fundamental principles. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to give us about 3 minutes and a minute for each point. And I'm going to go back here so that way you can see what the 3 points are. Take a screenshot of it. And this is what you're going to do for yourself. So professional point, an accolade, and a personal point. Okay. And then here's an example of someone else's. So 3 minutes on a clock, a minute per point. Even if you start a draft, you'll get it started now. So I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes. If anybody has questions, they could put it in the chat, right? Okay. Tima said, can I use ChatGPT? Absolutely. I love giving it a little bit of heart and soul. I usually will type my thoughts and then say, hey, can you take this? And is there any grammar versions, or is there a way to elevate this? So at least it's coming authentically from you and then giving you some elevated variations of it. So, okay. Well, it looks like we completed our 3 minutes. I hope you got to writing some good stuff. And if not, going back and revisiting later, that's really what it's going to boil down to, so you feel comfortable sharing it naturally. Let's see here. I do want to share in the chat. This is the 12-minute video for EXP. So when you're on the step of setting up that recruitment call, right? Sending that 12-minute video. Again, this is going to be like, what would it be a good analogy of it, right? Like, if you want the call to succeed, do as many steps as you can, your recruitment call, to get it there. And people being knowledgeable and being informed, it makes them feel comfortable and it helps accelerate the conversation. So that 12 minutes will get you so much farther in that conversation. So now when they're on the call with your senior leader, Joseph, they can ask pointed questions. As people, time is the most valuable commodity, right? Like, they want to know what they're walking into. They want to know what they can get done in 20 minutes, and they want as much information as possible. And this company is so dynamic that Joseph explaining the company and every nitty-gritty part for 20 minutes is a little challenging. So if they can watch this video ahead of time, one, they're impressed because it's just incredible what we have at our fingertips. And 2, now they can roll in with some questions. So this video, save it in your phone, save it in a pin note. It's very, very important. And then I wrote this earlier, and I will read it to you guys, and I'll drop it in the chat, but I strongly, strongly believe it, right? This business, your business, is no one's responsibility but yours. So I highly encourage you to take ownership of it, to take pride in how you're presented and how you educate and prepare others to present you. That's what I meant when I said that edification piece, right? Like if you have a team or you have a colleague that's going to be introducing you on a Zoom call, or that's going to be that recruitment call, share that, right? Share your edification with them so that way they can properly know what to say. That's why when there's big stages or there's events, the event producer says, can you send me your bio? They want something to go by. So if you have your edification piece and you can send it to your team that's going to be recruiting you, you're not having them write an edification on their own, because half people they've never had this class. Like me a few years ago, I didn't know what edification was. So you're doing the work for them and you're helping them succeed in that recruitment call by sending them your edification script for them to practice and know. And I will share with you guys, we can set it up when our VA comes back tomorrow, Joseph's edification piece. You guys can have it handy. You guys can know it. That way when you're setting up recruitment calls, you can know what to pinpoint to help elevate the conversation. That 12-minute video, and what was the other one? And then like your calendar, which is a great resource. All right, and then I'll close in the last piece. Always remember your reputation precedes you. If you want to take your business to the next level, start here and now with this. There's always room to grow for all of us, me included, daily. So that's what I have for today. If anybody has any questions, we have about 10 minutes to go. If you want to drop it in the chat, I can address them. And if not, we will see you at our next masterclass. I see Amy W. Do you know the conversion differences? I'm going to assume that you're referring the conversion difference on, are you speaking of a recruitment call or as far as edification is concerned? Either way, I wouldn't be able to have stats for you right now, but I just know in my, it doesn't matter which industry you're in, when you edify both your clients and the people that are on the conversation, it's an elevated form of communication and conversation, and all parties appreciate it, and it accelerates business. So how do we edify people we all know on a call? Can you let me know, give me a little bit more of context, George? How do you edify people we all know on a call? I think you're referring to, like, say maybe me, I was on the call with you, George, and Joseph, and we all know each other, or is there somebody new joining that conversation? Because edification is typically if there's somebody new joining the conversation. Like if it was just me, say George and Joseph, and we've all worked together and done business before, we don't have to edify people in that place. I mean, you could just say thank you all for being on the call. But other than that, I don't see another question coming in from you, George. Unless one of the people on the call isn't very versed with, say, how much, George, I know that you're in the insurance industry. Maybe somebody's not as versed as how successful your office is or how many people you've helped. They know that you're in the insurance industry, but there's always room to edify you a little further, right? As far as your passion for the industry, how many people you've helped. If I'm trying to bring that business together, I'm trying to bring that person to not just know that you're insurance, but know that you're great at it, or know that you're great at real estate. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that those are all the questions for today. Do you have anything else, Joseph? No? If you guys have any questions, should we put Pat's email in the chat or? Okay, Joseph's going to go ahead and put Pat's email in the chat. And then I saw someone asked about Spanish, so we'll get back to you on that. Julio Ortega. Okay. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you for engaging in the comments. It's a little different doing it on this side where I don't get to see all of your wonderful faces, but being able to see you type in there and let me know that you like it or ask questions is greatly appreciated. So thanks for engaging in that space. And we look so forward to seeing you next week, next Tuesday, same time, 10 a.m. PST. Be there or be square, like they say. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys, growing with you. And I think Joseph put an email in there. Go ahead and email us. If you have any questions, email us the edification, the 3-step that you made for yourself. And we'll send out some resources for Joseph. Thank you guys. Have a blessed day.